Before we continue, here's that other cadet controller that I ordered a while back, and it goes for the unboxing that's about to come up.
Let's get it. Yeah.
Greetings, comrades. This is Again Caleb, back with another unboxing video, and might as well just cut to it. Now, I got the Retron 5 a few weeks ago. Pretty good system, you know, emulating your classic NES, Super NES, and Genesis games, as well as Game Boy games, which I don't have any Game Boy games yet. But yeah, I also wanted a Retron for my room, because the Retron 5 is pretty much a living room console, and I wanted to play those games in my room as well, so that's where this comes in. I got the Retron 3, the HD version, because there's also an AV version that's completely different. The control ports are on a different layout, and it looks aesthetically different, but the big thing is that it's AV only. Like, it only uses composite output, which only one of my TVs has a composite output, and even if I hooked it up on that, it would look awful. Hence why I went for the HD version, which I've heard some good things about it. I've heard some, mixed things about it, mainly with the sound emulation for consoles, because unlike the Retron 5, which is software based, this is hardware based. So it actually emulates the console that you put in, what the game you put in. It'll emulate that console and try to emulate them from the sound effects to the graphics interface and stuff like that. It's pretty much an SoC for 3 different systems: NES, Super NES, and Genesis. So it's pretty much playing from the cart instead of ripping the ROM into temporary memory like the Retron 5 does. It's hardware emulation. It's pretty much playing directly from the cart instead of ripping the ROM. That's that. Now, a few different colorways. I decided to go with this because it would be nice to have a blue and black version, but well, technically it's black and red, so there's also a red and black version if you're into that too. But yeah, if you saw my recent short, I bought another cadet controller for a good reason. Well, 2 reasons. One, so I have 2 cadet controllers to play 2-player NES games on either system, and B, this console does not come with a cadet. It comes with the Squire, the Genesis controller, and the Scout, the Super NES controller, but it does not come with a cadet. Why it doesn't come with one, I'm not sure, because you have 3 systems but only 2 controllers. What sense does that make? Anyway, let's go and check the side here. The Retron 3 HD for NES, Super NES, or Super Famicom, and Genesis and Mega Drive. Now, it can play Famicom games, but you need a separate 60 to 72 pin adapter to do that, because the Retron 5 has a dedicated Famicom game slot, because they're a different shape compared to NES carts. They're also a lot smaller compared to NES carts, where you need a special adapter for it. Anyway, check the back here. We got 720p HD and audio and video. It also has an aspect ratio switch, which there's another console from Retrobit called the Super Retro Trio 3 Plus, I believe it's what it's called. I know Rockstar Productions a while back did a comparison between this console and that. And one of the advantages the Retron 3 has is a switch. It's a switch between 16:9 or 4:3, which if you play the retro games, you'll know 4:3 is the way to go. It just doesn't look right stretched out in a 16:9 aspect ratio. So it's nice that this has this. We also got controllers, premium controllers, an NTSC PAL switch. So if you have like European or Japanese games, at least for the Super NES and Genesis, you just flip that switch and it'll play those usually without problem. But again, for the NES side, you'll need that separate 60 to 72-pin adapter, and there's quite a few of them on Amazon, including one directly from Hyperkin, and a 6-foot micro cable. Yes, this is an older console, so it's micro USB, so something I expect. Yeah, this is a console that's been around for quite a while. I've known about it for a while, and I knew about long ago the original Retron 3, which used only AV output, and it also came with an S-video cable to improve the video quality of the Super NES and Genesis, not the NES, oddly enough. Anyway, let's go and as the sleeve slips off there. Here is the console itself. It feels surprisingly light compared to other consoles, but it does still has a nice little heft to it. Might as well take it out of the wrapping here. So we got the different. What is this? So this is okay. This is. You think they label it here? Okay, so this is NES, this is Genesis, and this is Super NES. Okay. So I know the Super NES carts are pretty wide, and one thing to notice is the Genesis carts, the Genesis ports here, you're not going to be able to use a power base converter. At least not the original one from Sega. Though Hyperkin does sell a separate adapter that lets you not only play Sega Master System games, but also Game Gear games. Now it's mainly for the Retron 5, but I've seen photos you can also use it on the Retron 3, and even the original Sega Genesis, so that's pretty nice to have if you don't have a power base converter. Anyway, let's take a look at the console. So we got a nice little switch here, switch between Super Nintendo, Genesis, or NES. It's nice to have. The reset and power switches, feel nice. Okay, there are your Super NES ports. You have one distinctive thing about the Retron 3 consoles is the placement of the controller ports. You got the Super NES ports here, you got the NES ports here, and the Genesis ports here. Whereas like the older Retron 3, at least one of them anyway, the control ports on the front, which makes a lot more sense. And the Super Retro True 3 Plus from Retrobit has them all up front in a little door. Plus all the switches and stuff that you need. But yeah, looks pretty nice. And in the back here, here's that 16:9 with 4x3 switch. Which I might as well set it to 4x3 because playing retro games from this era, you don't want to see them stretched out. It just doesn't look right to me. There's your HDMI output. And here's your composite output, which, yeah, one advantage this has over the Retron 5, it has both HDMI and composite output. So if you guys still have an old CRT TV or your flat screen TV has a composite output, you can play it on that. But if you already have a flat screen TV with HDMI, you might as well just use the HDMI. This is pretty much for the CRT TV guys. Oh, notice the little screw compartment here that's cracked a bit, but it's not loose or anything, just something I noticed. But yeah, as long as the circuit will be fine. And there's your micro USB for power. Remember, this is an older console, so no Type-C. This is before Type-C became mainstream. On the bottom, we have PAL switches. So NTSC and PAL, NTSC-J and NTSC-U, and PAL for Sega, and for the NES. So, that's the console itself. Usually I save that for last, but yeah. And let's go and get the rest of the goodies out. Here are the controllers. Here's the Squire. It feels nice. There's that little mode button, switch between 3 button and 6 button. Yeah, you have the other Squire. That will like pretty solid controller. Then we got the Scout. This is my third one now. This one that came with the Retron 5. There's a B button kind of got stuck a little bit. It works fine. It's just the B button got stuck. Then I got the regular one that emulates the Super NES color scheme. Works well. And I got this one here. Also works well. Strange is, again, I find it weird it doesn't come with like a deck controller, but that's why I got this. And they're inexpensive. It's like $15, so you know. Okay, so those are controllers, and naturally, we gotta get the cables out too. In this little compartment here, so that's nice. So we got, this is interesting. We have a Super NES to NES control port converter. So if you guys want to use your Super Nintendo controller on the NES, you can do that on here. Which I assume if it works on the Retron 3, it might work with the original hardware. Don't quote me on that. I don't have original hardware. I'll get the rest of the stuff out. That's it. So there's your AV cables, which I'm not going to use. Got your power cable, which I'm obviously going to use. Got your HDMI cable, which I'm definitely going to use. And a little power brick too, so Yes, and it's yeah, it's USB-A to micro USB, so you need to plug this into a power brick, and thankfully it comes with one. I wouldn't. It might work with your like little Samsung wall adapters, but I wouldn't risk it. I just probably just stick with the one it comes with, and feels solid enough. Ugh. Okay, so let's get these box cheese out of the way. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hook this up, and I'm surprised it came now. I wasn't expecting this to show up till next week, but hey, I'm not complaining. Now, a few things I do know about the Retron 3: when you turn it on, this little Hyperkin logo lights up in here, and some of the earlier consoles, they had this like dog-ear design on the corner here, and from what I heard, the newer consoles, they kind of did away with it, but it looks nice either way. Now I'm just gonna figure out where it's gonna go on my entertainment center, which I do plan on kind of reorganizing my entertainment center a little bit. Which since I have this, I might be taking out my Raspberry Pi, which is fine because it's just using one little power port, so I might as well just use that instead. And the Raspberry Pi I mainly use for like playing retro games on the TV, but now that I have the Evercade and now this, and plus the Steam Deck, I can put Retro Archer on there and play on that. I can just do that. Anyway, I'm going to set this up and see how it works. And also, it may or may not, but hey, hopefully I'll be able to try out this cart and see if it works. Because if you saw my previous video, this doesn't really work with the Retron 5. Hopefully it'll work with the Retron 3. Anyway, this is Neffex Caleb signing out. Have a good day. Alright, before you all have a good day, I'd like to point out that the multi-cart, as you can see over there, plugged in the Retron 5, works. Whereas if you remember in the my previous video, I showed up that it didn't work with the Retron 5. It kind of did, but it was a complete mess. Now, what's interesting about the this little multi-cart here is that the first 30 games are the games that are featured on the NES Classic. So might as well just, I'm not gonna play them, but I'm gonna show you got Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania 1 and 2, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong Classics, Donkey Kong, the original, Dr. Mario, got Excite Bike, Final Fantasy, Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario Bros. Classic, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden 1, Pac-Man, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is interesting because if I heard correctly, the Punch-Out that's on the NES Classic is regular Punch-Out, which features Mr. Dream instead of Mike Tyson as the final boss. Got Star Tropics, Super C, which I already have, Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3, Tecmo Bowl, The Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2. And those are the games that came with the NES Classic. Now let's check out the other games. 10-Yard Fight, 1943. Oh, by the way, the menu navigation is a little weird. Up and down goes up at the current list, but you press down, it goes back to this. So you have to press right or left to go on. Got 8 Eyes, Abadox, A Boy and His Blob, Adventures of Lolo, 1, 2, 3, Airwolf, Nightmare on Elm Street, Arch Rivals, Arkanoid, Astyanax, Banana Prince. I guess I heard of that. From what I hear, there are no bootlegs in this cart. They are legitimate games. Batman Returns, the video game, Battle City, Battleship, Battletoads and Double Dragon, Binary Land, Bionic Commando, Blades of Steel, Blaster Master, Bomberman, Bomberman 2, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Bonk's Adventure, Bubble Bobble Part 2, Bucky O'Hare, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, Birthday Blowout, Captain America, Captain Skyhawk, Captain Tsubasa 2, Casino Kids, Castle Dragon, Castle Quest. I remember that game. It's a really hard game. I don't recall ever beating it. I don't remember getting far actually. Chippendale Circus Charlie, Crisis Force, I heard that, Codename Viper, Contra, which I already have, Contra Force, which I don't plan on getting because I heard it's not a very good game. Plus the cartridges for this go upwards of $100 or more. I don't think it's worth it. Cowboy, I suppose a Cowboy, Crashing the Boys, Crystalis, Cybernoid, Maybe some of these are bootlegs, because Deadpool, I'm pretty sure there are some bootlegs on here, because I haven't heard of so many games. I know I've heard of an NES bootleg of Deadpool with Ninja Gaiden. Dig Dug 1 and 2, Digger Lost City, Directive Soulbrain, Aladdin, Darkwing Duck, Jungle Book, Lion King 6. Okay, there are some bootlegs on here, okay. But whatever. Disney's Mermaid, Donkey Kong 3, Double Dragon 1, 2, 3, Double Dribble, Dragon Ball Power. Don't remember a Dragon Ball game in the NES. Do remember Dragon Warrior, Dragon Fighter, DuckTales, Earthbound, Ever Action, Nadu, Friday the 13th. I think Gargoyles Quest 2, Ghostbusters 2, Golf, Quest 2, Gradius 2, Guerrilla War, Oops, Island, Ice Hockey, Jackal, Jackie Chan's Kung Fu. That is a real game, by the way. Journey to Silius, Joust, Karateka, Karnov. Okay, Legendary Wings, Life Force. Okay. I recognize some of these games. I've never played some of them, but I do recognize them. Mario Bros. Again. Mario is Missing, Mario's Time Machine, Master Fighter 2, Mega Man 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All the Mega Man games are good. Metal Gear, Mighty Final Fight, Mortal Kombat, definitely a bootleg. Muscle, Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3, Nintendo World Cup, North and South, North Star, Over Horizon, Paper 1 and 2, Parasol Stars, Pinball, have a copy of that. There's a Perfect Cuber, Triangle Islands, River City Ransom, Road Fighter, RoboCop 1, 2, RoboCop vs. Terminator, Rocky Cats, Rygar, Scat. Nothing to do with feces, I'll tell you right now. Shadow of the Ninja, Silkworm, Sky Destroyer, Solar Jetman, Star Force, Stead, whatever that is. Terminator. Yeah, awful games. Oh, we got the 10-gen Tetris here, which I might hunt down a copy later on because the 10-gen version of Tetris is pretty rare and fetches a pretty penny. I do have Tetris 1 and 2, which I prefer Tetris 1 over Tetris 2. It's too far removed from the original gameplay that I'm used to. 3D Battles, Addams Family, Battle of Olympus, Flintstones, Thunderbirds, He's Karate Kid, The Creon Conquest, Legend of Kage, Simpsons, okay, Tom and Jerry, Twinbee, Wacky Races, Wizards and Warriors, Wario, interesting, and Zoda's Revenge. Never heard of that. We'll just pick one game, see how it works on here. I guess we'll do. I guess Tetris 10-gen. Okay, pressing A puts them all in alphabetical order. Yeah, that noise is a little Okay. Okay, I wasn't aware there's music on this menu. I just pressed select. Nice. Anyway, press start to select the game. Alright, boots up fine. Might as well that. I do love me some Tetris, which fitting I'm playing this because Tetris Forever was recently released. I do plan on getting that. Shame it doesn't have the NES Tetris games, which would be an awesome way to play this version because, well, like I said, the actual cart's pretty rare and expensive. But even this regular NES version, there's plenty of. Still an awesome game. Let's see if we can get a Tetris. Just what I hear so far, it sounds pretty good. I never played the original. Now, imagine if you're a purist, you might recognize the differences in sound. Because at least the HDMI part, some say that the sound emulation isn't 100%. But again, unless you're a real purist, you're not going to notice the difference. Yeah, so before we got the save feature for the pieces, so what you see is what you get, and you're going to use it one way or another. Okay. So this is nice to play. So how do you go back to the main menu? Press... I don't think it tells you. I guess you have to reset it, but yeah, it works. So that's awesome. So now I can play my NX games and instead I go to the living room, I can play in here. And yeah, you'll notice because of the way I position when you sit down, naturally the cartridge is going to get in the way, but you're going to be playing this at 4x3 anyway. If you at least want to play it that way, so you don't have to worry about the cart being in the way too much. That said, I do plan on getting a wall mount for my TV as well as a sound bar, so that way I can move all my consoles there and, you know, free up some space a little bit, because you can tell it doesn't look the best, but hey, it's functional at least. But anyway, this is Never Gonna Be Caleb signing out. You all have a good day, for real this time.
Suck it up, life's tough, we know that. Someone's got better stuff and can throw cash. Tell them I don't give a fuck, make my own path. I don't need no handouts, I'm my own man. Gotta get it, I'll get it and fast, yeah. Got a girl and she'll get it, she bad, yeah. Man, I only get down with the best, I'ma leave the complaints with the rest,